We're going to take a look at Dropbox today. It's a tool that you can use to collect files from your students. And all I've done is gone into my course. Now I've clicked on Dropbox, and I'm going to click on New Folder to make a Dropbox folder. You need to enter a name for that. You'll notice that's required. You can choose what type of folder it is. Individual submission is what we'll be going over here. If you have questions about group submission folders, we do have another tutorial for that. You can select a category if you've set those up for your Dropbox folders. Otherwise, you can click New Category or just leave it at No Category. For a grade item, if you've already set that up, you can click the drop down and select your correct grade item or create a new one with the little icon there. Now, you need to enter an out of score here. It should match your grade item, but it doesn't have to. D2L is smart enough to figure out the scaling between the two of those. You can select a rubric to add to this Dropbox, or you can select a default scoring rubric. Both of these are optional. Under instructions, you can enter the actual instructions for this particular paper, or you can refer students to a different area, or even an attached file that you've gone and added that may have all of the instructions. So we'll say, please see attached PDF. So we can go in here, add a file just like we would normal, upload it to here, and then we'll actually have that file available for students. Now, per submission file options here are students can submit an unlimited number of files in one submission of the Dropbox. The second is they can only submit one file each time they submit to the Dropbox. The next one under submissions is the way that these submissions up top are treated. You can keep all of the submissions, which means each time a student submits to the Dropbox, it's going to keep record of that. The next option is only the most recent submission is kept, which means it deletes the older ones if a student submits a new file to the Dropbox. And the last one I don't recommend is only one submission is allowed. That doesn't allow for any kind of whoops, I submitted a draft or anything like that. So I generally leave these two at default, change them as you see fit. I'm going to go ahead and save here. We're back up at the top. We're going to look at restrictions. So in restrictions, you can set start date, due date, and end date. If you only want this to open and close at certain times, set the start date and set the end date. Due date is only really used if you're going to have a difference between your due date and what the last chance students will have to turn things in. Down from there, you can set up release conditions and as well as special access. The last portion is learning objectives. That is also optional here. And the final tab is actually a little bit newer. It is the ability to enable Turnitin integration. So if you check that box, it's going to actually contact Turnitin and give you a few more options down here. If you have questions about using Turnitin or setting up these options, take a look at our Turnitin tutorial. It goes pretty well in depth on all of the different options because there are a significant amount of them here.